Yeehaw!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chew News. As always, I'm your host, Dee Brady. With me is my co host.
Hello, old fashioned Tay Chi Chi.
And on today's episode, we're going to be going over the latest raid in Scarlet and Violet, some Pokemon Go news, some small anime news, and some merch and Unite news. So let's go ahead and get on into the raid news. We have our first new raid event post Gimme Gold, but this is the first new seven star raid that we've got going on since all of the bugs happened with Chestnut. And it is yet another Colossian starter, being the final one, Delphox, with the Fairy Terra type. Now, this is something that honestly I even texted Tay whenever it got announced. I predicted because one, we knew Delphox was coming due to a data mine, but also with the Terra type, I was like, Fairy seems like the logical explanation. Either that or normal, but I feel like they may save that for Rillaboom. They may save that for Rillaboom and do that for some of the more stab based moves that it gets. But with Delphox, we got Fairy. And so with this, you got to be a little careful because you can't bring a pure steel type with it because it still has access to all of its fire type moves. You got to be careful like with which poison types you bring because still part psychic. I know a lot of the ideas that are getting thrown around on the internet right now are top one is a Ceruledge with a steel Terra type because it's got the flash fire ability, so you don't have to worry about fire types, and then you can just TM Ironhead onto it. So get the stab there and just sword stance until you got enough attack, and then hopefully one shot it. What I think is I am gonna try and risk it using a poison type. Because another thing I was telling Tay is I've got Mons already prepared for this raid battle because like I said I had predicted Fairy Terra, and I think I'm gonna try and go in with a Glamora,
Hmm?
the little rock flower thing, and Mortal Spin and then Venoshock till it dies.
Sure. As a raid enthusiast, I concur.
But that is pretty much our raid news. We've still got Gimme Ghoul going on until the 12th. This raid will be going on from July 7th through the 9th, and then again from the 14th to the 16th, I believe.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. So, what do we got going on merch wise, Tay?
Well, I got two little snippets. For we're gonna start with the Pokemon Center, which I did finally order myself some good old fashioned stuffs. Um,
A.
in case you didn't catch it on Twitter, there are some new backpacks and hats. They look rather silly. They're like the plush backpacks that you wear, so it looks like a Pokemon is riding your back. There's
Ooh.
Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Psyduck. I ordered myself a Bulbasaur one and look forward to seeing that unboxing on my channel soon. Very excited. They also have hats, which are like goofy hats. If you've seen the Bidoof hat, that's kind of what it looks like, a plush hat. They have
Mm-hmm.
Gengar, Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and like instead of having Psyduck, they have Gengar, which is interesting. The backpacks retail for $34.99. The hats retail for $24.99. We also have some pinnage action. We have Sinistea and Poltegeist, a 2-pack for $12.99. Applin, Flapple, and Appletoon, a 3-pack for $18.99. An oversized Rayquaza pin for $24.99, and an oversized Gengar pin for $24.99. Let me just see how big this pin is. It looks like it measures to be about 5 inches across. So please take that with what you will for how oversized it actually is. And then I want to move on from that to Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Bear, I'm a part of a Build-A-Bear elitist group on Facebook. I know, shocking. But essentially, there is going to be a Pokemon. We don't know if it's going to be a drop or if it's going to be a restock. And there's a lot of assumptions that it is going to be Sprigatito, but I would not. Everyone's saying that that's the next Build-A-Bear Pokemon, which I wouldn't be mad at. It depends on how it looks, because I tend to not like the Pokemon Build-A-Bears that have the four legs. I have a Vulpix and I have a Jolteon. I'm just not the biggest fan of how their feetsies look. They look more cartoonish. Whereas to like Sobble, it looks more like Pokemon plush.
Hmm.
But we might be getting a Sprigatito, or we might be getting a restock of a Pokemon that sold out very quickly, such as um, Gengar, maybe an Espeon, Umbreon. It all just depends on what Pokemon wants to do. I'm assuming that it's Sprigatito because they just had a restock and it's been, I guess it hasn't been that long since we got a Sobble, but
Hmm.
I'm hopeful because I understand the restocks and that's great for people who aren't like me and don't get the notifications from Build-A-Bear on Twitter and Instagram. But I mean, if you want those things, you got to be on top of them, you know.
You
So
know.
we'll see what happens there, and so that's what I got. Maybe Sprigatito, maybe a restock of another Pokemon Build-A-Bear. And now we're gonna move it on back for some anniversaries.
Yes, so Pokemon Go is celebrating their anniversary, and I've got the official newsletter that they put out in the game to talk about. Starting July 6th through the 12th, Pokemon Go will be running a special anniversary event, and you'll be getting rotating bonuses such as like Gimme Gold coins and different Pokemon appearing each day. But another one is you can get the Squirtle line with little party hats
Oh,
along with a special anniversary Pikachu that they always do every year. Um, in the Go raids, you'll be able to encounter the legendary bird trio in 5-star raids, mega raids. Mega Blastoise will be there, and you'll be getting to redo the 2021 Masterwork research for Pokemon Go, and you can possibly encounter a shiny Mew.
oh, Blue Mew.
Yeah, Blue Mew. So that's all we got for the anniversary in Pokemon Go. But it sounds like some good stuff going on there, especially for people who are avid Go players.
Not me. I got locked out of my account. I have an excuse.
True. But I'm going to toss it back over for some Unite news because we have a new character finally in the game.
Pokemon Unite. We do. We have Inteleon finally. I have been playing Unite all day today, trying to get back to Masters. As of this recording, I'm Ultra 4, but we'll see where it goes. Um, Inteleon, I expected Inteleon to be very overpowered. It's not. Feels fine to go against, in my opinion. I think it's fine. Some people are saying it needs to be buffed and that certain things need to be fixed. I think that Inteleon's very squishy. But that's my only thing. But I also play Cinderace, so it could just be because I'm hitting it with a Pyro Ball. Uh, but yeah, no, I haven't had any problems with Inteleon. I think Inteleon right now is fine. Um, I like the way that Sobble walks. The middle evolution, Dr-
Drizzile.
Drizzile, having it crawl around. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan. But yeah, looks good. Um,
You're not a fan of the emo lizard?
I am. I'm not a fan of how it crawls in the game. Like his mittens are on the ground. He's gonna get his mittens dirty. I understand. He's a lizard. I get it. They go on all fours. But what's wrong with me wanting him to have like a cool walk instead of a crawl?
Maybe that's faster and easier to animate.
Probably. We know Pokemon. Go taking the easy way out. Just kidding. Love you,
Mhm.
Pokemon.
We love you so much. Please do not
Sponsor.
hate us.
Yeah.
We would love to be the official Pokemon podcast.
Eh. And toss it back to you. Eh.
So, lastly, we've got some anime news. Anime has been on a slight break for the new like Horizons anime. The last new episode was about a week ago. They will resume putting new episodes out in Japan come July 14th. So just keep an eye out for that. We did unfortunately not get the capture of any Pokemon so far. So Liko and Roy still only have one Pokemon each, being their starters. But maybe the Pokemon that got showcased in this upcoming episode was Watchroll. So maybe one of them will catch it. Maybe Roy, because I think Roy was the one battling it. But
It's
you
possible.
never know. Possible. It would be great because Kilowattrel is one of my favorite Paldean Pokemon. So that is it for our news segment. When we come back, we are going to discuss a very summery themed discussion question.
Yee ha.
And welcome back, everybody. So, we are going to be discussing today what Pokemon we would bring to the beach with us. So, this is a team, not necessarily that you have to like battle whatsoever, but just stuff that you feel like would be fun to bring to the beach with you.
Heck yeah. Beach time.
Beach time, especially because it's summer, so at least in the northern hemisphere. But I'm gonna start things off. The Pokemon I'm gonna say the Pokemon that I'm gonna bring, and then I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got Blastoise, Palossand, Mantine, Jigglypuff, Vanillux, and Primarina.
Okay.
So Blastoise and Mantine are for like kind of surfing stuff and lifeguarding in case anyone needs anything.
Sure.
Palossand because sand castles,
Mm-hmm.
beach, why not?
Good cop out.
Jiggly, good cop out. Jigglypuff, if we wanted to play volleyball, she could just inflate and she could be the ball.
That's morbid a little bit.
And if we wanted, we could really just mess with the other team and be like, "Hey, Jigglypuff, you sing," or
Oh
hyper
god.
voice.
Oh god.
And then Vanillux, when you go to the beach, you're wanting something cool, you're wanting something nice. Vanillux is an ice cream cone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's understandable. I'm going to do mine one
and
at a
then
time.
and and
Go
then
ahead.
Primarina,
Right.
Primarina because mermaid and siren.
And that's a flex at the beach.
Hmm.
For me, I'm going to take it one at a time because I only have a handful that I've thought of so far, but I will think of more on the fly. My first thought was for alligator, and I picked for alligator because same thing that you chose, Mantine and Blastoise was for surfing. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, like I just trust Feraligatr with my life to surf on. And I feel like he could just like pick me up and be like, "All right, we're getting out now." You know?
We got this.
And I feel like if there were any Pokemon that were like underwater, like that were
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna chomper." Like
Yes.
realistically thinking like for sharks or
Hmm.
barracuda. Um for alligators fierce enough for it to
Just scare
scare him
away.
away. Yeah, exactly. My next one is a Ludicolo because
Okay.
Ludicolo is like a party animal, and it's like you get your little maracas and you're ready. You're ready for it.
I do love Ludicolo.
I just think Ludicolo is a really good time. Could do limbo with them, just kind of having a good old fashioned time. I also think that I would bring Crustle for sandcastles. And this is more for like Unite because he like makes a huge wall of like rock. And I feel like he could do
Hmm.
that with sand so that then you at least have a base of what you would do your sandcastle with. And if you want to, you could like lay on top of him
True.
and you'll like feel elevated so you're not actually he's like your own little beach towel but a rock. So what was that for? 3?
Three, I
Crustal.
think.
Okay, that's fine. I got it. Then
You said Crustal for alligator,
Ludicolo.
Ludicolo. Yeah, three.
My next pick is going to be Hisuian Typhlosion. And the reason
Okay.
for this, right, is because if you ever think of a classic anime or a classic TV show where it's a beach episode, they always have a bonfire on the beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Hisuian and Typhlosion would be for. But whenever they do those things, they think of ghost stories. So that's why we're going with the Hisuian Typhlosion and not regular Typhlosion, because it brings up that little bit of spooky factor.
Ookie spooky.
Exactly. It who know you if you don't know me, I'm a big old spooky type of person. So that's why I'm like, yes, yes, queen.
Okay.
Um, then my next one is Shuckle, and the reasoning for Shuckle is because why would you not want a Shuckle with you? Shuckle's the best. He's a good partner to have in life. He's a quality man. He's cruising. I love Shuckle, and when I think of fun, I think of Shuckle. You know what I mean? You catch my
Kind of.
drift? Because
Kind of.
I'm a fan of Shuckle. Shuckle's a Shuckle's a good mod. And then for my last one, as I desperately look across my room, um, totally out of not Kabutops. Now I know what you're thinking. Why Kabutops? That's a really
It's
good question. But I'm thinking because Kabutops is water rock, right? So he
mm-hmm.
can do hunting, and then like with his claws, and then he can. Then we have snacks. So then we can just cook them over Hisui and Typhlosion, and we can have fish kebabs right off of Kabutops.
What fish Pokemon are you hunting though?
Magikarp, Barraskewda, whatever's available, baby.
Well,
Dondozo if we're feeling lucky. Tatsugiri. We're snacking.
snacka snacka.
And then you won't get any unsolicited strangers that are looking at you in a bathing suit because you have Feraligatr and Kabutops ready to just tear them apart.
True.
And as a woman, you need it.
Well, let us know which Pokemon you would bring to the beach, and can be from any generation. You can use them to battle, you can just use them to have fun. But let us know down in the comments below. We're going to take a quick break and then come back with everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question.
And this silly little question's unhinged, people, so be prepared.
And now it is time for everyone's favorite portion, the silly little question. Tay, what is our silly little question? And please explain why.
I came up with this because you know the ones that are super unhinged are me because I am the chaos. Uh,
And she's not even a Gemini.
true, I'm a Leo. um, what would be the worst Pokemon to bring with you on a Target trip? And the reason that I thought of this is because recently I went to Target, and to spoil myself because my birthday's at the end of the month, July 28th. If you wanna buy me a present, um, just kidding. And I was on a journey, and I was in that Target for probably like 2 hours. I was on the journey for a sleeping Jigglypuff. Didn't find the sleeping Jigglypuff. Very sad. Um, but for whatever reason, when we were trying to think of silly little questions, I was like, Target, who would be the worst? And therefore that's my question of who would be the
So what's your
worst Pokemon.
answer?
My
What's
answer,
your
you
answer?
ask, is Tyranitar. What made you think of Tyranitar, you ask?
Mm-hmm.
I love Tyranitar. I really do. With all my little heart. I can just imagine being in the toy aisle and Tyranitar just picks up like this super expensive like Lego playset. And he's like, huh? Yeah. But Lego playsets, girl, they're a little expensive nowadays. They're real expensive. And so I can just imagine myself being like, "No, Titar, I'm sorry. Like we can't afford it right now. Like we're maybe for your birthday, maybe for like whatever holidays coming up next." And I can just and Titar is massive, right? Like Titar would try to be like very careful to not like ruin anything because that's how you treat your Titar. That's how you bring them up. Um, but my Titar is a little bit of a toddler, so he has a tantrum. Man has a
Used one too many rare candies immediately after hatching.
yes, stomping tantrum. I want it. I want it. Tears down the aisles. Target's destroyed. All the Target workers are looking at me like you couldn't have just bought him the Minecraft Lego set. My wallet. No. But T-Tar still destroying everything. Won't go back in his ball. I buy him the Lego set. The Target employees go, "It's okay. We've seen worse." I walk out the store. He gets his Minecraft set. My wallet cries. And that is why T-Tar would be the worst Pokemon to bring into a Target.
Okay. Okay. It's not where I thought that was going. Uh, I am going to say for my answer, Impidimp, because it's known as the wily Pokemon. And as we've seen in like the anime and stuff, they can be a little rambunctious.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just see them going and like messing with all the mannequins
Mm-hmm.
and putting things where they're not supposed to, or slipping something into someone's cart and causing them to pay for more than what they bargained for,
Dang.
or trying to steal something.
Yeah, that would be impotent.
Because they're just a little pink gremlin dude.
I like how opposite ways we went.
Oh yes.
Where did you think I was going?
Oh, just the sandstream ability and how it'd be horrendous to clean up for
Oh,
employees.
yeah, I guess that's fair. But my mind came up with the. Actually, it came up with the scenario first. And then I thought of the question. Because I saw my T-Tar sitting cutie. And I
Mm.
was like, ah, yes. This makes sense. Target.
Mm.
T-Tar, T-Target.
To target.
Targetar.
Targetar.
T-Tar.
But let us know down in the comments who you think would be the worst to bring with you to Target. Specifically, Target.
I don't
When
know.
we come back, we're going to wrap things up.
Yeah. What the fork is up, everyone?
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please, that would help so much. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials. We are at ChewNews1 on Twitter. Personal social is at DBradyEW21 on Twitter. And then Tay is
At TGG7.
TayChichu7. So before we go, we're going to do a quick wrap up. Remind everyone that Delphox Fairy Type Terra 7-star raids start this weekend. So get Pokemon ready for that. Inteleon is in Unite along with some good merch stuff. Tay, anything that I'm missing?
Look out for Build-A-Bear. See if there's a restock of anything or a new Build-A-Bear Pokemon coming out.
Perfect. So remember, next time you choose your news, choose.
Chew News.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.